balance is an imaginative thing. I don't think it's real. I believe in offsetting. You can use the bicycle analogy. I think that's going to be a good one. I've tried keeping a balance in my life. No, there's offsetting, right? You come into work, you go hard, you go home, no business in the house, you offset. You give your family, you give your wife, right? You give your wife, you give your children your presence, your attention, your love, everything they need. And you, I mean, that's just what you can, you do what you can. You know what I mean?
For sure.
I don't believe in a balance. There's no such thing.
I think it's about,
You know what? But go ahead. You know why there's no such thing, by the way, as balance? Because how are you going to balance this, bro? Most Americans work 40 hours a week minimum. Are you spending 40 hours of intentional time with your children and your wife? No, so that you're never, that's never going to be accomplished, and it's only going to compound, not in your favor over time. So all you can do is offset. Wanted to get your feedback.
There was a study that said that by the time your child is 13 years old, you've already spent about 73% of their life with them.
Ouch.
So of the time, because remember, at 18, typically in Western civilization, we tell our kids move out. Other countries don't do that. They let you live there with mom and dad until you're
it's a
ready to
cultural
get married. But no, I think you're absolutely right. There's offsetting. There is no balance. I've never seen any man do great things or woman do great things and be balanced.
And be a stay-at-home dad?
Can I be?
No.
Oh.
Like, I've never heard of a legendary entrepreneur he's a stay-at-home dad too. What?
Yeah, no, it doesn't work. And ultimately, do you want to, what is balance? You know, the people that all want balance are the people that go work for pennies on the dollar.
Yeah.
And maybe 40 hours 10 years ago when, you know, inflation wasn't as high, they have to work 50 to 60 hours right now just to afford their bills.
I think it's quality, not quantity, though, right? So if we're all working, I probably spend maybe 2 to 3 hours of my day while my son is awake and I'm at home. 2 to 3 hours. But bet your ass when I'm there, I'm not on the phone.
Yeah.
I'm not watching TV. I'm not doing anything but full attention on my boy, and I'm training him.
What does
I'm playing
this
with him.
mean?
Like, you know, like
What does that mean? Yeah.
Drake
Can
being
you?
his-
No, what does that mean
No, it's
specifically?
phone.
What are you trying to say?
Like this. I'm not like this.
That's not what you meant.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
That's not what you
How
meant.
would I be beating my meat like this, bro?
I didn't say anything about beating your meat.
That's a different method.
What?
Maybe you like a little massage.
It's the new
It's a
zany
little
method.
massage.
It's the new
No.
zany method. No, seriously. So I mean, honestly, though, it's controlled. It's controlled time, right? So I feel like as long as we do that as fathers, I mean, we're all fathers here. As long as we do that as fathers, we give our children that attention when we're there. I think we're doing our job, and that's creating a balance of its own.
Here's what I'll say about balance is that when you decide to be a chief of a village, if you are an emperor, if you are creating a dynasty, if you're putting the world on your back, the reason why my son is named Atlas is because he needs to know when he is birthed and when he is a conscious that the world is on his back, right? Just like the Greek god Atlas holds the world on his back, because he needs to understand that, yes, some people came here to entertain, to work a regular job, to do things and have impact in their small community, and some people came to lead those, right? But when you are taking the world on your back, when you're taking the business, family, friend, and then you forget about you, what happens is there is no balance, right? The only thing you can balance is pressure. But to me, when you go to a, what's it called in Egypt, a emperor or whatever, King Tut. When King Tut was born, I'm sure his father didn't say, your life is going to be balanced.
Pharaoh?
Pharaoh. Son, your life is going to be balanced. The whole entire nation is looking up to you to make the right decision.
They're not talking about balance.
What balance, right? Hey,
They're talking about
your helmet on.
programming, right?
Yeah.
Training, education,
Yes.
leadership. Yeah,
yes,
you're right.
to be strong.
Yeah.
Because the only thing that I see in raising a child is raising them to withstand the blow coming their way. Because they're going to get
Which is
pressure no matter
coming,
what,
yeah.
right? Say, hey, son, this is your dad's helmet. Check out the battle wounds. I'm still going back to war. Whenever your legs are equipped, I tell Han all the time. Back in the day, when you used to tell your son to go kill the head of the lion, if the mother was worried, the son died. When the mother didn't worry, the son came back with the head of the lion. Why? Because she had trust that the father gave his tools to the son to bring back the head of the lion.
Wow. So you're telling me that the wife of that husband and the mother of that child doubted, like she probably wasn't with like the ideal alpha male, was like, oh man, I don't think this dude really right? You know what I mean? Like, I don't think this dude taught my son what he's gonna need in order to accomplish this task. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely.
Ouch.
One thing I can share with you guys, obviously, you fathers, right? Especially to young men. One thing that I'm always grateful for is before I got into the industry with these guys, I was driving semis, right, for 10 years. And my son was born during that time. But my son doesn't remember me working for anybody else, like working for an organization or working for a company like that and trading my hours for dollars,
sure.
right? I used to bring him in at the age of 2. He would come to the office and he would see, and that's all he knows. He knows, like, you know, he works with family and
But
you guys are all having fun, and he wants to come to work with me and stuff like that. So as your children get older, as your sons get older, that's a blessing that they're gonna have. You're not that already is the change in your dynamic, in your trajectory of your family, right? I remember my dad picking me up in the morning at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, walking me across the street in his arms to drop me off at my grandma's house while he would have to go to work. And then I remember my mom coming at like noon, picking me up because she had just worked the graveyard shift, taking me back to the house, her falling asleep, and then me just kind of being there, right? And so my son doesn't have to ever worry about me having to go drop him off somewhere in the morning time or his mom not being able to spend time. And work-life balance, you know, that's something that, you know, I had to learn from him too, because when you're obsessed with something in the very beginning, I mean, it's hard to turn it off, especially if you have children, right? I can understand if you didn't have any children and you got into it, yeah, you can spend all the time being obsessed with it. But it was really hard for me to understand, like, hey, you do have to turn it off when you get home. I just couldn't stop.
They say that millennials right now are spending, I believe it was like over 65% more time with their children than the fathers before us.
That's a great thing.
Oh, it's amazing. They said that over 50% of them are changing diapers, which, you know, fathers, my dad definitely never changed diapers or did any of those things.
What?
So I also think that, you know, it's a conversation of balance, but we also don't look at the changes that are happening for men right now as well, as far as how we have stepped up tremendously to provide, not only to go hard at work, but also we are doing different things in the home that our fathers never did.
I think there was a generation there where, like you said, that's why these stats are coming out. There was a generation there where it was like moms are going to raise the kids, but then the outside influence, the entertainment that we're watching, it's starting to demasculinate. Or is that how you would say it? Demasculinize our children, our men, our children. So now we see that as adults and we see that as grown men. So we're like, okay, now I have to work extra hard to spend more time to.
Correct.
Because there's another force out there that's gonna put my child in a different
They need to see dad
direction.
doing hard shit. You gotta do hard stuff, because if you don't do hard stuff, if everything is so easy.
Yeah.
I grew up with so many people. They grew up in your Scottsdale's best, but in Atlanta. And kudos to them. They great families. I got to watch the culture. But one thing I'll say is that when it comes to doing hard things, some people stray away from it. And by hard, you can put it up to your own discretion. But to me, hard is the hero's journey, right? Hard is serving others beyond yourself. Hard is creating something that nobody else can create besides you. You chose to run that path, whether it's in an organization, whether it's at home, whether it's just your son watching you activate your creativity, or your daughter, whatever that looks like. So this is a new generation, but I'm excited that we are disrupting it.
Seneca says, show me the boy at 7 and I'll show you the man. So whatever they are trying to put into these young kids' minds before 7 years old.
Aristotle, I believe. Maybe Aristotle.
I think it was Senecus.
I don't think so.
Marcus Aurelius. It was Marcus Aurelius.
Marcus
No,
Aurelius.
I think we might all.
They're
be
all
wrong.
Roman. Could be. They're all Roman.
Matt, look it up.
Show me
I think it's Aristotle.
They're
I
all
think it's
Roman.
pretty sure it
Marcus
was
Aurelius.
Seneca, but
If you look up,
Was this, not Socrates.
give me the boy at the age of
wasn't
7, I'll show
Kanye,
you the
right?
man.
Who is it?
Everything
I think,
comes
it's,
from
I think it's Aristotle.
all that wisdom
Give me the
comes
boy at
from,
the age of 7, I'll
from
show
one
you the
person.
man.
So
Right there. You had it.
And I'll show you age of 7, and I'll show you the man. No.
No, bro. What's going on?
See, give me the boy and I'll let you live.
while he's looking for it,
Yeah.
though, you know, the best thing that my son's mother did was make sure that he was homeschooled until he was about 6 years old so that we could give him our values, our beliefs, all those things. Nope.
Who was it? No. Look
It was
at it.
Aristotle.
Aris.
Says right there.
Aristotle.
Wow, you were right. Put Phil in his place. No, I'm just kidding.
Feels like the black Aristotle.
Look, I'm grateful because I've been saying Syndicus this whole
Philosopher.
time, so now I got it right. So
I mean, he
correction
learned-
is love.
That's why I was like,
he
what?
learned from
No,
Aristotle.
Aristotle.
He was
Huh?
Greek.
He probably
He was
learned from
Greek,
Aristotle.
for sure.
Yeah. look.
Greek,
I thought it
not
was
Roman.
Kanye,
Yeah,
my
bro.
bad.
It's okay. Listen, one real quick. I would change Zadie's diapers. Two,
Thank you so much.
I have a rule.
Aristotle was black.
Was he?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I don't think he was. I have a rule, bro. A black Greek?
I mean, come on.
Like what?
They've changed history. History. We know if it's last
we
time.
went through this
History.
There's no way Aristotle was
Thomas
black,
Edison
bro.
created the light
We're
bulb.
not gonna get
It
into
wasn't
the
black guy that
black.
created the light
I
bulb.
don't know. He got the waves, bro.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah,
Not black, bro. This
I
guy's
don't
not
know.
black, bro. He has straight hair,
They didn't have black marble.
bro. He has straight hair, bro.
Well,
yeah, it's called onyx.
here's where I will say Phil might be onto something. Is you go to any church, and I mean Jesus is whiter than me, and we know that Jesus was not
He wasn't
white.
Middle
white.
Eastern.
Yeah,
I get it. So real quick,
From Africa.
real quick, I have something or a strategy that's worked for me over these past 5 years is no business in the house, right? And you got to figure out almost like an entrance point of where that begins. For me, like I've always said, it's the garage door. I will not go in through that garage door unless I'm off the phone. So I'll finish my conversation in the driveway or in the garage, but I will not go through that door on the phone, right? So that's really, and if I have some business to attend to, I either go in my home office, which I don't really like to do. I actually like to go to the backyard. So that's really helped me out. So now that my mind is programmed that when I'm in the house, bro, Sal texted me last night. Watch this. Ready? This you'll like this. Sal texted me last night, and I'm watching Suits with my wife, and he goes, "Yo, call me." Right? He goes, "Yo, call me," and I said, "Red, orange, blue." He's like, "It depends. It depends if it's looked at from a negative of importance."
Okay.
He goes, "But it can wait." I said, "Okay." You know what I meant by red,
Yeah,
orange,
yeah.
blue?
Would have been green,
Emergency.
yellow, red.
Yeah, exactly.
Caution.
Right? So I'm on the
caution,
couch
yeah.
watching Suits with my wife, and I'm like, okay, my business partner might need me, but I'm like, well, let me make sure he needs me. Because I'm not gonna talk business, you know what I'm saying? So I'm spending quality time with my
and
wife.
you also drop your daughters off at school every day, right? And I think that's a great
great.
way to offset.
been
as
doing
well
that since it
is-
started.
Yeah.
And you're also getting a chance to start the day off right with them, you know. So when me and Bear
Oh, bro.
drive to school, we do affirmations, right? Oh, I'm gonna have a great day. So
Yep.
I think that's also something that you do that's really beautiful is just making sure that you get to drop them off at school and the no
Well,
business in the house.
My wife told me yesterday. Before we went to bed, she's like, "Your daughter is a mini you. Michaela's becoming a mini me, right?" And I was just like, "Man, praise God!" You know, like I'm pouring into her every single morning, right? So
That's beautiful.
Thank you, brother. Work life balance.